All right. Well, hello, everyone. This is C. Alexandra with Rolling Out Health IQ. I have a special guest with me today, Dr. Bobby. How are you doing? I mean, he's a detox specialist, so he's going to just tell us all, about eating healthy, things of that nature. But how are you doing today?
Man, I am fantastically well here in Canada right now. I have an event now just finished up here. So excited to kind of do this interview while I'm up here.
I love that. Yes, Canada is a fun place. I was there once upon a time,
Oh,
but that's
really?
like, you don't hear that every day, right? I love
Indeed.
it. Yeah, so we are just looking forward to speaking with you. I know Talia Wajid, she just had her event. I know you were there dropping some gems, teaching people how to eat right, live right. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're just gonna pick your brain a little bit and see how we can live healthier lives as well. So yeah, I guess let's start here. So can you tell us what are the duties of a detox specialist? Like what do you do in your day to day?
Well, so let me sort of reverse engineer. I'm a pharmacist turned herbalist. And I think just going through that progression, like being a pharmacist and working in a hospital, working for the FDA, and then seeing the benefits and the power of plants to use them as medicine, it helped me see how toxicity is a major cause of why most people are sick today. And when I say toxicity, most people are thinking like arsenic or strychnine or something like that that could kill you like this. But most of the toxins that we come into contact with on a daily basis, they're in things that we think are harmless. They're in our cosmetic products, they're in our hygiene products, they're in our food, especially. They're in the air, they're in the water, they're ubiquitous, they're all around us. And so, what I saw would be beneficial to help people on their healing journey was, given that I have a chemistry background, was to kind of help people identify those things that are literally causing them to have headaches, digestive issues, weight gain, autoimmune issues, high blood pressure, et cetera, and remove those things from their diet, and then help them see on the natural side how they can use herbs to actually facilitate the process. So, in a roundabout way, that's why I identify myself as a detox specialist, because I truly believe that the cause of most disease is toxicity and then deficiency. And so on a daily basis, I own a farm called Sankofa Tropical Farms with my partner, and we have over 30 different varieties of tropical fruit. So I'm doing that along with some other things. I'm helping people sort of look at health in a different way. So I'm posting content online, doing interviews with amazing people like yourself, and writing, most of the time. So that's what my day is like typically.
Okay, I like that. Well, it's interesting that you said you started as a pharmacist and you're like, no, let's go this route instead. I guess, was it something personal that happened in your own life, or maybe you saw someone else that you knew personally that, I guess they were kind of taking maybe multiple different, types of medication that was prescribed to them, right? And you were like, there's got to be a better way. I guess, was there a story behind that specifically?
Huge story. So I lost all of my grandparents by the time I was in the 10th grade to some form of chronic disease. And my maternal grandmother, who I was absolutely in love with, I was on her deathbed when she passed. And when she did pass, it impacted me a lot, to the point that I said that, I wanted to make sure I could help somebody, help my grandmother in the future if I can't help her now. And so that's what inspired me to go along this whole journey of health. But the unfortunate thing is, the same year I lost my grandmother, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure at the age of 16. And this was despite the fact I only had about 6 or 7% body fat. So I was very athletic, very much in shape. And so I chalked it up to genes, like most people. I got bad genes. And so for 10 or 12 years, I just lived with it, high blood pressure until my late 20s. And then all of a sudden, I'm working in the hospital. And what I'm noticing is that I'm giving patients advice that I'm not taking myself. I'm not eating healthy. I'm not living well. And my blood pressure, by the way, was getting higher and higher and higher. And so, in an attempt to heal myself, I started doing everything. I mean, I was doing different types of like these pre-packaged meals that didn't work. Started exercising differently, that didn't work. And finally, out of desperation, I said, you know what, I'm going to try a plant-based vegan diet for about 30 days. I actually said 21 because I thought 30 was too much.
Right.
And in 21 days, I lost 17 pounds and my blood pressure came down.
Wow.
And so that was the first point that I was like, you know what, food is medicine. Like, because there's no drug that could do that, that could naturally help me lose 17 pounds and naturally bring down my blood pressure. And so I started to investigate what are the other foods that could help me with this, and started to look into herbs, even though I was already a herbalist, and dug a little bit deeper and created a detox and did that detox and ended up losing a total of 45 pounds and normalizing my blood pressure to the blood pressure of a teenage girl. And that
Wow.
was like the aha moment. It was like, okay, I was on this unnatural side of chemistry, which is man-made chemistry. And now I've come over to the organic natural side of chemistry. And the organic natural side of chemistry worked better than the one that I went to school for. So that's kind of how I ended up where I am today.
Wow, that's a very interesting story. And I've heard that a lot. It's even with like when you're trying to lose weight, right? Like your diet matters the most because if you're
Yep.
still eating bad, you're not gonna see the pounds leave, right?
Right.
That's how it goes. But no, your story is very, inspirational. So thank you for sharing that with us.
You're
But
welcome.
I gotta know during your journey of, I guess, going through this process and learning what, fruits work, what foods work. Can you drop some gems for us, like which foods do work and kind of do act as medicine that we should incorporate on a daily basis? I know you can't give all the gems away, you got a book and everything, but
Yeah.
give us something.
Yeah. So the primary foods that are healing are green leafy vegetables. And green leafy vegetables are very important because they supply us with things. Again, you remember what I said before, one of the primary causes of disease is toxicity and deficiency. Okay, so a lot of us are deficient in things that we don't even recognize like magnesium. Magnesium is responsible for over 300 biological reactions in the body. And so when you're magnesium deficient, you have 300 possible problems that could start in the body. Okay. And 80% of the population is deficient in magnesium. Okay. So when your body feels tight, when you have constipation, when you feel like you get anxiety for no apparent reason, all of these things could be because of a magnesium deficiency. Okay, so green leafy vegetables are loaded with magnesium, potassium, fiber, and many of the things we need to deodorize ourselves as well too. Deodorizing meaning to remove certain waste from the body as well too. So green leafy vegetables is definitely at the top of the list. Berries. Berries are very important as well too because they're loaded with antioxidants. And people, when they hear the word antioxidant, I want to break it down. So the word is literally like anti-rust, so anti-aging, anti-breakdown of DNA. And when your DNA gets broken down, it can get mutated, which could lead to cancer. And so putting berries in your body on a daily basis, you're not only preventing yourself from aging, premature aging, but you're also allowing your body to have an immune system that is strong enough to fight against cancer. Okay. So those are definitely at the top of the list as well too. And then I would say sea vegetables, which most people don't consume. Things like sea moss, nori, wakame. I lived in Japan for 4.5 years. And while I was there, I did some research on a group of people who lived to 100, eat primarily a plant-based diet and die calmly in their sleep with no disease. Okay, and one of the things that they ate consistently on a daily basis was sea vegetables like, seaweed, sea moss, things of that nature. So incorporating that into your diet is very important too, because there are certain minerals that are present in the sea that aren't present in the soil anymore because of how we farm. And so I would say those are 3 things that are very important. Then I would say something like a ginger. I consume ginger tea
Love
every
ginger.
morning. And ginger is anti-inflammatory, and most people have a lot of inflammation in their body. And what I explain to people is disease has a pattern in terms of how it, manifests itself in the body. Most people think it just shows up when the doctor says it showed up, but no, it was accumulating in the body. So it starts with irritation. That irritation is perhaps the processed food that you're eating, perhaps the thing that you're putting on your skin, but it starts with an irritation. That irritation creates an inflammation in the body. So it inflames the lining of the gut. It may inflame the tissues in the body. Okay. So when you inflame a tissue, tissues make up organs. Organs make up organ systems, and these organ systems become dysfunctional. And so that's why I always tell people consuming some foods that are anti-inflammatory, like a ginger or ginger root, is very important too. So those are just 4 that I would name. And as you said before, a lot of them are also in my book as well.
Absolutely. And we'll definitely get into that. But thank you for sharing that. I see I need to do some different things with my own life. So I appreciate that. Well, I got to know more about iHeart Fruit Box. You're the co-owner of that brand. How is it improving the health in the community? Can you share that with us?
Man, so I'm a fruit lover. So I've had the benefit of being able to travel the world, and I've gone to over 75 countries. And in that time and space, every time I would go to a new country, I would think to myself, man, I wonder what fruit they have here. So I would literally say, okay, this grows here, I'm looking for it. And so when I came back here to the States, what I noticed was I couldn't get many of those fruits. And many of those fruits only grow in tropical regions like the Caribbean, Africa, Central America, places like that, because those are the places that get the most amount of sun and have the best weather. Okay, so they have the best environment for those type of fruits. And so as I developed this love for them, and I was also developing my knowledge of, medicinal foods, what I noticed was that there was also a pattern in certain fruits that were very medicinal too, like soursop. Soursop has a lot of studies behind it that confirm that it is not only anti-cancerous, but it's also anti-aging as well too. Not only the fruit itself, but the leaves that grow on the tree. And so as I'm going through and learning all this stuff about these fruits, and I developed this love affair with it, I'm like, man, the next natural progression seems like I gotta start a farm. And so buy a fruit farm in South Florida, which is primarily one of the few places in America that these type of fruits will grow. And so we have over 30 different variety of fruit, everything from soursop to to sapodilla. We have guava, we have sugar apple, we have bananas, we have coconuts, we have lychee, we have longan, we have ralunya. I can go on and on, but just essentially created a fruit forest. And anytime I do anything, just like when I learned how to heal myself of high blood pressure, I always want to share it with my community. And so we developed iHeart Fruit Box as the company to be able to ship these fruits out all over America, actually including Canada. I just received my box here, which is funny. And so I got some dragon fruit. This one's really good. Got some passion fruit, and got some guava. And then I didn't even expect this. Got some soursop here as well too. I also got, and I love this one. This one's custard apple, which tastes like strawberry cheesecake. Got an avocado for my salads, and got some mango. So yeah, that's iHeart Fruit Box. We essentially created an opportunity for people to be able to have seeded, which is really important because a lot of fruit you can't even get the seeds anymore.
So
Seasonal,
glad you mentioned that.
seasonal and organic. Everything is grown organic and grown through a process of this is in alignment with nature. So that's iHeart Fruit Box. You can check us out online as iHeart Fruit Box as well too.
I love that. That's amazing. Yep, fruit is definitely it's kind of nature's candy, right? In a sense. I got to know. So, the Talia Wajid health and beauty experience just went down not too long ago. I know you were there. I guess, how did you educate, people of color about the benefits of taking care of their health and watching what they eat? Did you have workshops or, were you a speaker? How did that go down?
Man, it was amazing. We were on a panel, and the panel, instead of just focusing on, how do you grow your hair naturally, it was addressing the issues that are literally widespread in our community around what are the barriers to being healthier. Because
Mm,
a lot of us, want to be healthy, but there's so many barriers. So we talked about, the prevalence of food deserts in our neighborhoods. We talked about the culture. We have this culture that whenever we say, I'm about to eat good, it means you're about to eat bad.
no, seriously.
Yeah, so like we literally took a deep dive into discussing everything from, the education system to food deserts to what are some of those solutions, how you can support Black farmers like myself, Black healthcare professionals like myself who actually want to see our community thrive, get healthy, and also be able to be their own healer.
Mhm.
So we dove into those conversations, and it was a very beautiful discussion. Great other panelists on there besides myself. And I was just honored to be there, to be able to have that conversation, because that's what it's all about. If you can't educate people and inspire people, then I feel like you're not living in your purpose. So I loved everything about it, and look forward to the opportunity again.
I love that. Yes. Definitely heard great things. I love Miss Talia. I got to interview her as well, and she's definitely a breath of fresh air. So I love it. Well, thank you for educating us. I got to know, your book, Begucation. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Begucation
Yep.
over medication. We got that right?
Indeed.
Okay. Just make sure I said that right. Tell us, I guess, how are you teaching people to eat better? I know you kind of already touched on this, but without breaking the bank, because sometimes eating healthy, it's a little pricey as well. So how do you kind of teach that in your book, and also just generating this whole health movement?
Yeah. So the first thing I start with is mindset. That's the most important thing, because there's this thinking, this notion, this mindset that whenever you eat healthy, you have to literally give up your car and your house and your Gucci belt to be able to eat healthy. And that is just not true. So that's the first thing. And what I always tell people is eating healthy is really expensive when you eat vegan junk food. So
Interesting.
when you're eating the Impossible burgers and the Beyond burgers and things of that nature, it's really expensive. But if you're eating real food, like food with one ingredient, like an avocado, like kale, you're making a salad, you're making even plant-based spaghetti. When you're
Mm,
making that from whole ingredients, then it's much cheaper. But when you're buying vegan junk food and going to the vegan restaurants and buying vegan ice cream, a little thing of vegan ice cream like this is like $8.
oh wow.
So when you're consuming food that is like processed vegan food like that, it is expensive.
Mm,
But when you're eating healthy, the way that I actually encourage people to eat is not as expensive. So that's the first thing. The second thing that is really important is that people have to do like a cost analysis, because a lot of times what people don't understand is that there's a required investment in your health to actually get health. Like health isn't something you can buy. It's something that you can earn. And what people quite often don't see is what's the cost comparison whenever you eat the standard American diet, also known as the SAD diet,
right.
versus when you're actually eating healthy. Like, what is the cost comparison when it comes to your healthcare? And so, just to give you an example, to be diabetic, the average cost for a diabetic per year is an additional $16,000 to $17,000
Wow.
just from being diabetic. I'm not talking about the fact that diabetes is a leading cause of blindness. It's a leading cause of amputation. It's one of the leading causes of heart disease and heart attacks, which is the number one killer of all humans. And it's also one of the leading causes of kidney disease, which runs rampant in the African American community as well, too. So when you look at it from that perspective and do a cost analysis saying, okay, I'm investing in my health whenever I buy something healthy and I eat healthy, this prevents me from getting diabetes because, the unfortunate thing is people think that a lot of type 2 diabetes is genetically linked. It's not.
Mm.
People think that all high blood pressure is genetically linked. I'm a case, it's not. And so it's so important for us to know that we still have power in our choice, and especially when it comes to our choice in food and how we move and how we manage stress, and also, the daily choices we make and how we think and things of that nature too. So I always tell people, like, going plant-based on a budget is easy, of course, when you're eating whole foods. Like, I go over this all the time in my membership program when I'm talking on, platforms like this. But it's just important for people to have the right perspective when they think I'm going to eat healthy too, because it is an act of self-love when you eat healthy. Like, literally, when you're eating healthy, you're gonna take a picture of that, show it off, like, this is what I
Right.
ate today.
Yeah, this is
So,
actually eating good. No, I'm sure. Love it.
yeah, so people know. It's just a matter of people got to be willing to invest in their health.
I love that. Well, Dr. Bobby Price, thank you so much for coming on Rolling Out Health IQ and just educating us today on how to live healthier lives. This has really been beneficial to our
Yeah.
audience. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Of course, have a great day.
All right. Bye.